Hello. Oh my god! Bears eat Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to the Going Nowhere podcast. We're your hosts,
Mark,
Johnny,
Sheldon,
and we just finished watching The Revenant.
and I was bored to fucking tears.
I thought you liked the movie.
You were
Mark.
crying?
No, I said I liked the first half of the movie
And the ending of the movie.
and the ending of the movie, and then the extra hour.
2 hours,
3 hours. Or
72
3
hours.
I don't know how long I was in that fucking theater, but it was fucking boring.
It had some pacing issues, to say the least.
I felt like I was in it for an eternity. I'm not sure if,
Hey, look at this landscaping. It's absolutely gorgeous. You did a really good job at filming it. Oh, hey, here's another landscape.
Same
And
thing.
Another.
and another.
And another.
You can't deny the cinematography was at least beautiful.
Oh yeah, but any pretentious dick with a camera can just go out in the nature and film it.
And they usually do, and they throw a couple Instagram filters on it.
But the fact that they only used natural lighting was pretty impressive, I think.
That, I think, is incredible to
Yeah,
only
yeah,
use
absolutely.
natural lighting.
Because you have to plan your scenes completely on the dot of the time of day
And you have to worry about things like global warming, as per Leo.
Yeah,
Should know.
I felt the global warming.
It's so dumb.
The global warming was a literal force that attacked me.
Just like in the
South
Hateful
Park.
Eight, they use natural lighting.
Spotlighting from God.
So natural.
Natural. The beginning I thought had a really, really good scene where they were
The
being
camp was being attacked? Yeah.
by the natives, and then they ended up
Well,
that shot was like one big shot,
Mhm.
and it was beautiful,
there was some tension.
and it went on for quite a while as that one shot, and I noticed how good that was. Johnny mentioned that there was the scene where the camera pointed up.
Panned up to the sky.
To the sky, and then came back down, and nothing had changed. But that was obviously the cut where it was, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that whole action-y scene was very interesting and well done.
I love that. Yeah, I love that intro, that starting scene. I thought they were gonna introduce the characters a little bit more.
There wasn't much for
especially
backstory.
because he was out hunting with his son while their camp got attacked, right? And so I thought there was going to be a little bit, and Tom Hardy was asking him where he was and stuff like that. So I thought you were going to get a little bit more character dynamic, but then they get attacked, and then that's it. That's as much.
There was one moment where they had a good interaction between the hero and villain when he pointed the gun at him, or when he had to hold up the gun and he had that line where he said something.
I'd rather be on this end of the gun.
Yeah, said something smart like that. But
Smart side of the gun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was all right. The bear scene was one of my favorites for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
That was great. That was the first time I think this year I've seen the audience go, "Oh!" collectively. At the
A
end
collective
of that.
audience reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty impressive. That first third of the movie felt really good, and then it really started to drag on.
Yeah, once he gets injured and kind of left for dead, it's just
Him chilling for a bit.
he's gonna drag for about an hour, and then he's gonna learn how to properly walk.
For an hour. And then he's going to spend another 4 hours adventuring to Mordor.
And then
Drop
many-
off the jewelry.
how many more times do you need to show him hungry and grabbing food?
A more accurate title for the movie would be Leonardo DiCaprio Has a Bad Week. The movie, the film.
Especially the part where his horse goes off the cliff after he's pretty much
Spoiler.
recovered.
And then he tauntauns the shit out of that.
Yeah. Poor Leo.
Poor horse.
But what? Yeah, really. Watch this be the one he gets the Oscar for whatever reason.
I really don't think he should win the Oscar for it.
I think you should win an Oscar, just not this Oscar.
Yeah.
I think Tom Hardy did a really good job. I don't know if he would deserve an Oscar for the supporting role.
There was too much of nothing happening for I think anyone to deserve anything.
Yeah, but the Oscars love that.
Nothing? I know, because they're old and they can't keep up with what the fuck's happening on the screen in Star Wars. So despite
But I think I liked that.
Star Wars making a bajillion dollars, it will never win an award like that, which is, I think, ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting.
Is it nominated for like best
Special effects or
special
something?
effects?
It's
Yeah,
nominated for something.
cinematography for sure. I think that might be the one that might be justified between that and there were a few other good ones up for
Mad Max.
cinematography.
Yeah, I think Mad Max should win for the special effects and like, oh my god, it's nuts.
Yeah, the shit they had to go through for that movie. So thinking about how long The Revenant is, can you guys think of any longer or equally long, painful movies you've seen? in the
Hateful
past this
Eight,
year?
anything by Tarantino. Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of Tarantino tends to drag on. Hateful Eight, I think, in particular, because there wasn't much
There wasn't a change
happening.
of scenery.
The difference between The Revenant and Hateful Eight, I mean, for me, majorly, is that at least the Hateful Eight had tension in it.
Yeah.
When people were talking, I felt a little bit of tension in between, like, what was going to happen. I was intrigued. Revenant, I couldn't have given two shits if everyone died. If a meteor came in and killed them all, I'd been like, oh, well, at least that ended the movie quicker.
I didn't give a shit about the son. I didn't give a shit about Leo. I didn't give a shit about
Tom Hardy, he's a cocksucker.
Domhnall Gleeson.
the only character you really kind of gave a shit about was the like kid who.
But then you don't
was
even
with
see
Tom
him
Hardy
again.
Oh,
in the-
I said I hate that kid.
he's a pretty good actor.
He's a good actor.
I couldn't
but there's
remember what else
something
I've
about
seen
him
him
I
in.
Just his
fucking
face.
hate. I hate his
It's
face.
his face.
I hate his
It's
face.
literally just his face.
I hate it. I'm sorry.
Like the acting, hate the face.
I don't know what it is, but I want to punch him.
He's a great actor. Just wear a fucking bag.
Pretty much. I like the in The Revenant, the captain, I guess, or whatever.
Donald
Yeah.
Gleason.
Donald Gleason. I like that scene where he was looking for.
Absolutely,
that
there was some real emotion there. I was going to bring that up because it was one of the few moments where you
Actually, were invested in the movie.
because then Leo gets back and he doesn't seem really that driven for revenge.
At
He's
no
not
point
even angry
Did
really.
I feel that he was like channeling inner rage?
No, he was
Well,
just mopey.
You should have known that from the dream sequences he had.
The best I got out of him being mad was when he, like, in the snow wrote, he killed
He
my
killed
son.
my son.
Yeah.
Show it! Don't fucking write it out!
My favorite dream sequence was they had that one set that was an old church and the bell was just barely hanging up top.
Yeah.
That was a really cool looking set. I don't know
I
if that was
don't
a real
know
thing.
why
I
that
doubt it.
needed to be in the movie.
The
Yeah,
best part about
there's
that though
absolutely
was
no reason.
hugging a tree.
It happens.
The like action scenes of that movie were
Great.
Yeah, final action sequence for
Was
sure.
pretty good. The bear scene was, of course, fucking awesome. The attack on the camp was good.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of action. The scene where they get the French rapist guy, I was expecting more to happen, or at
Yeah.
least he just kind of
Just
got
shot
away.
a guy and rode off.
Somehow he just got away.
And then
Who
same
did?
thing with when he goes to ride out.
Leo, when he
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, he just gets away. Yeah.
and then
He
they
doesn't even bring the girl
She went the other way.
Went the other way, and you're
just so that she can come back at the end to save his life.
sort of, but they didn't
Not
say anything
really.
and address that at all.
Yeah, it was.
I
it was
hated
just
that
so
whole-
forced.
That whole plot line was pointless.
Really unnecessary.
That if they got rid of that entire plot line, it would have been the exact same movie. Just say that they're getting harassed by the natives because they're attacking and they're killing and whatever. They're assholes because they're white men. White men are assholes. That's how it works, right? And just say they don't like them, so the natives were attacking to defend their land. Movie moves on. You don't need the French company. You don't need the other natives. You just need him, his son getting killed, and him going after Tom Hardy. That's it.
I think the French camp was supposed to be there to give him some sort of motivation after he did that thing to his friend.
Like it felt the French camp like when he sneaks up like added a lot. I think at that point I started picking up like because
just having more people on screen.
Yeah,
maybe.
instead of just him chilling.
In that sense, it had a purpose, but not plot-wise.
because there was a little bit of tension there. It was like him hiding in the camp, but not enough to really.
It was just unnecessary. It didn't further the plot along. He got a horse, I guess.
Yeah,
But-
he got a horse.
There's
Only to fall off the cliff.
immediately after, like seconds later.
And
That
Tom
bit was
Tom.
pretty good though when he was getting away on the horse and he was shooting a couple of them.
Yeah,
that was pretty
good.
tense.
I was
yeah.
fine with that.
But
And
then when he falls off the cliff,
But-
it like completely dies off.
Again,
and it
it's-
dies. Yeah, it's just like okay.
Getting the horse, Leo.
just get on in. It's all cozy in
Oh,
here.
it's nice and toasty. In
Holiday Inn. Do they have room service? No.
I love it when I'm in style.
Ooh.
I can't help but feel like praise for his performance is based on what he had to go through as an actor,
And he
which
did
isn't very fair.
have to go through a lot, though. Like,
Look, pay me a hell of a lot of money, and you can fucking drag me around in the dirt.
well,
Have me
okay,
eat
how
a
much
wild
money?
meat.
Wait, before now we're recorded. This is on the record. How much money is it gonna cost to drag you around?
I don't know.
Yeah,
how much
actually,
did,
I want to know that
how
number.
much did Leo make for the Revenant?
Oh, you're not gonna get that much. You are not as famous as Leo. Let me assure you.
That's true. Half of that.
Maybe.
How about none of that and we just do it?
Come here.
We can edit this recording to make it sound like, yes, guys,
You know
please
what?
drag me.
Bruce Campbell goes through it equally as much as Leo did in that movie when he did all of the Evil Dead movies.
I don't know, getting into the lakes, the glacial lakes there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
super
true.
fucking cold. The river, he must have been honestly freezing.
He actually cut a horse open and
Dove right in. Yeah.
stepped in. Peter's not happy about that one.
He
Leo, now just set the organs over here.
had to
Guys,
chop
I'm
off
a
a couple
vegan,
fingers
but-
off someone, and shit happens. It got dark.
But probably the cold would be the worst part about filming that, because half the time you're probably just standing around.
And it was outside
Which is
because they
just
used
as
natural
much
lighting.
strain on the crew. At least he gets to move around.
I guess, but being in the water, that water's fucking.
Yeah, that would probably be the worst
cold.
part.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tom Hardy went from like desert, like
Yeah, Mad Max too.
yeah,
Fucking
to, like,
winter
to
with
winter.
a scalped head.
Yeah. I did like there's little things here and there from the Revenant, like how Tom Hardy had sculpted Donald Gleason.
Yeah.
Because he thought that Donald Gleason was the only one out there hunting for him. And so if he'd scalp him, people would come across his body.
I think
and
natives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's
But
like little things like that were cool, but
I like what Leo did to trick him
yeah.
there towards the end.
But that was super obvious to me.
Because
And
they
that's-
showed the branches,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's
such
fair.
a
But because
cliche.
he was out in the open like that?
But what I didn't understand is why the fuck Leo didn't get a good shot at him. Are you fucking point blank range? You miss when you have the
Complete
drop on him?
surprise, yeah.
Fuck off!
Just so they can
And he had
have
the rifle lying there too.
Yeah.
And I thought, because you see the rifle in frame, I thought, oh, the rifle's just gonna come over, pow. No, he pulls out a fucking pistol from underneath the. No,
Shoots him in the goddamn shoulder.
fuck off, Leo.
Shit, I missed.
No, I'd better go for a chase scene for another 20 minutes. No, end the fucking movie.
I did like Tom Hardy's their back and forth at the end in the battle. Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, there was. We've already entered
It's a-
spoiler territory.
Yeah, well, it's a
That's a
revenge
spoiler.
flick.
What else is gonna happen? Except, the problem for me with the movie is, besides the length, Leo didn't seem like he really, really desired revenge. He didn't seem angry. He seemed just kind of bored
He just
with the proceedings.
Yeah, he seemed like he survived just because.
The movie said so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought they'd play a bit more at the end with just the miracle of Leo being able to survive all that. Like, even the captain didn't say anything. He just
they're just
suddenly
like, "Oh, you're back."
Yeah, instantly wants revenge.
And then they're like, leave him alone. He like goes and he like cleans himself up and everything.
I thought when he first saw him, he'd be like, "How the
Fuck.
fuck?"
Did you come back?
Like, they didn't really look surprised. They just
They seemed more angry that they were lied to than
Yeah.
they were that this man lived through this.
right.
And what?
And then I thought at the end, after he was fighting him, I thought he'd say something along the lines of like, "Why won't you fucking die?"
Pretty much. Well, to be fair, he didn't know about going cliff diving. So,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was an okay movie.
It was just too long. I will give it credit, though. It didn't do the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, 72 endings bullshit.
It just
Like, where it just cock teases, like, oh, this 8-hour movie's almost over. Psych! Hell, Hitler. Oh. That's Captain America reference.
Yeah, it's pretty. No, because I saw it just recently, or recently enough. There's the dropping the ring and seeing the eagles picking them up, and like them waking up in the eagles' hands.
Yeah.
And then there's the
Waking up in
Bed.
Rivendell. Yeah.
gayest fucking scene I've seen since Backdoor's Men 5.
That sounds like
Back
something
to-
you've seen, so we'll go with that.
It's on my DVD shelf.
Blu-ray shelf
Direct
and
to DVD.
bookmarked on your computer.
Just in case my Blu-ray doesn't work.
Yeah, then it goes to the Shire, right?
Yeah, so then there's the Shire, and then there's Sam meets his wife,
In the pub, yeah.
and then there's the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, Aragorn, the king scene.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
Whenever that
so there's
happens.
the
When he
Aragorn King scene where he gets crowned,
Which is neat.
and then after that, it's him finding his love. And then everyone being like, yay, I'm super happy for you.
Yeah.
And then...
Then they go to the Shire. Then Sam meets his wife. Then they go to the boat.
Well, they have a wedding.
They say Bilbo's goodbye.
They have-
Oh, yeah.
boat.
Bilbo's goodbyes at the boat. Oh,
Yeah.
No, well, they ride in a cart to get to the boat.
And fades
And
to
then
black.
there's talking in that scene,
Yeah.
too. And then they get to the boat.
And they say goodbye with the elves.
Yeah, and then Frodo's like, I'm going with them. Where the fuck are they going?
That
Just away.
is explained in the books.
Oh, okay.
It's a place where there's no more death. And that it's where all the elves are living.
Are they like going to heaven? Is it like
it's an actual place apparently, but it's
supposed to be
heaven.
some sort of paradise, right?
yeah. I'm not a Tolkien nerd, so
So
I'm
is-
not sure.
Is Frodo like, oh, I deserve to go there, but fuck you guys?
And then the elves just kind
See ya.
of look at each other like, we really could only take one.
But okay, I guess we'll make room for two of these shitholes.
Well, two hobbits equals one actual person.
That's racist. Like actually.
But yeah,
Hey,
then
they're little people.
is
okay?
it right after that? Then it finally goes to the scene with Sam and his family walking
Yeah,
to the house.
yeah.
And
But
then
that
it's
takes like a
Yeah,
minute.
and then it's like Frodo being like, "Dear Sam, I loved you. You helped me out."
But buddies for life. Bye.
Is that how it finally ends? Is Frodo finishing Bilbo's book? No, that was because he left with him. Didn't that happen too?
Yeah, that also happened.
Yeah. Well, because they left on the boat together.
But before that,
Gandalf.
it shows him finishing the book. I don't know.
I don't care. That movie just fucking
it was too long
drags.
anyway.
I remember laughing as another scene popped up in theaters the first time I saw it. Like, I was laughing at the Aragorn singing scene because I was like, okay, this is unnecessary, but alright, whatever. Fade to black. Back again. Okay, what the fuck? Fade to black. Back again. No.
No,
No.
they couldn't. They
Fade to black. Oh, it's back again. No, it kept happening.
Okay, so in tradition of Lord of the Rings, let's talk about The Hobbit.
That's
I
not
only
tradition.
saw, as is tradition.
In Canada.
To me.
Tradition sucks. Let's change tradition.
If you want to,
Talk about
if you want to
Washington
talk about Lord of the Rings going on too long, let's talk about the entire Hobbit trilogy.
being 3 movies instead of 1 or 2.
It's 9 hours too long.
It could have been done, I think, really well with 2 movies. It could have been
Didn't see
done
3.
pretty good with 1 movie.
But the way they broke it up too made absolutely no sense. The beginning of the third one, just
5 minutes of Smaug,
and then
credits. Like, intro credits.
and it's like,
And
why
then-
wasn't that at the end of the second?
Because that way you needed, like, tension and drama. Like, what else is going to draw you into the movie?
No, it was fucking stupid.
Because if they had ended with Smaug, they would just go home. You missed out on them going home. Because you wouldn't care about Battle of 5 Armies. Because that was 5 pages in the fucking book. Like,
Oh god,
and they
How
were
many armies were there?
5 armies.
Oh,
I don't even know if there were
But-
5.
Okay,
5.
There-
Somewhat
let's see.
scarier than 4.
there were the elves,
The dwarves,
the dwarves, the other dwarves,
the townspeople.
townspeople, and the orcs.
You
That's
mean
it.
the other dwarves is in the party, like the
No, because there was a second set that's led by CGI Billy Connolly.
God,
That's
that's
dumb.
why I forgot.
Yeah.
Trying to erase that from my memory.
That said, while I hated those movies, they did have some really good scenes. You have to give them credit. The Gollum scene's fantastic.
Yes.
The Smaug
The
scenes
small
are
interactions are good. Yeah.
cool. And even like Super Mario Legolas, we have that now.
That is a
Dun,
thing.
dun,
We
dun,
got.
Da-da-da-da-da.
No, anything
and
that I
reference.
would have liked about the third movie was ruined by that.
That actually fucking sucked so much.
Because there's just no reason.
At all.
Like, you'd think Peter Jackson would have saw that after they did it and been like, no,
That's
no,
stupid.
none of that, nope.
There was that, and there was Azog jumping out of the ice by like 20 feet, even though there was no way for him to physically do so. Unless
So I have a question for you guys.
42.
Now, there we go. Answered.
Yeah, move on.
All right.
No, the Hobbit was extended.
There's an
The book-
extended.
Is this going to be a question?
It's a
It
statement.
is. The book is shorter, but they like dragged it on with extra stuff. However, the movie Watchmen was long. It was also almost 3 hours long, but that was because they needed to fit the whole comic book in. So what do you guys like? What do you guys
I think
Was it
Watchmen
better or
is
worse
more
in that case?
justifiably long, but at certain points it does drag on. I fucking love Watchmen, don't get me wrong. But particularly the director's cut, the extended version.
with the comic book shoved in.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I
How
prefer that.
long is that? 2 hours or an hour or
It's
something?
No.
No.
Oh,
On
it's-
top of it,
Oh,
yeah.
on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 5 hours long of a movie,
Uh,
which I enjoy.
What's that called? What is that thing called? The
Black Fur Freighter. Yeah.
Freighter?
Yeah.
And that itself is
It
2 hours.
parallels the story of Ozymandias.
Long. Okay, that seems really unnecessary.
But the way it's built into the comics, I think, works a lot better. I haven't read all the comics, but I don't know. In the movie, it definitely breaks up the main.
I do
the main
like
storyline.
how they added all that extra stuff like on your DVD or
Oh,
Blu-ray,
it
so you
should-
can like
cool that it's
you
an
can
extra.
pause
Oh,
and then you
definitely.
can like watch it another day or continue watching it another
And the
day.
fact that they added it in and of itself is really cool.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
a bonus thing. You don't have to watch if you don't want to, right?
And then you've got the they also added an entire like documentary part to it as well, which was based off Under the Hood, which in the comic book or graphic novel,
Yeah.
like adds a lot more to the story as well, so you get to know the characters.
I think it just gets to be a bit much. The original movie's pretty long as it is.
It's just impressive that they put so much fucking effort into that movie.
Just out of
You're never gonna get that out of something.
Oh,
like
as far as
that
comic
ever
book
again.
adaptations
Yeah.
go, the only other one that I can think that does the material justice is probably Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dark Knight.
what was your guys' thought of just with the Watchmen, the change to the ending?
I loved it.
Probably less campy and stupid than
Well, and Alan Moore, when people had asked him, I had like read like because after reading the book, I looked up like what the fuck, and Alan Moore was like, because it's a book, you can flip, and it goes from like nothing to big giant
octopus
alien
alien things. Yeah.
And the alien part kind of makes sense. It's like the like enemy from unknown, so everybody on Earth can like gather together and work as a team to defeat aliens.
Yeah.
Now that they know that they're not alone. But because it's a graphic novel, you can flip back and forth and be like, "What the fuck?"
Without knowing
But
what's
with a
going on.
movie, if that had happened, it would have been too random, and you wouldn't have had a chance to go back in theaters to
What
like,
It doesn't tie
kind of
in
let it in.
right.
Yeah.
what happens to Dr. Manhattan in the graphic novel? Because it makes sense in the movie. The world goes against him. That's why he leaves, and that's perfect.
Which-
that's brilliant.
yeah.
But what happens to him? Do they blame him for that?
No, they don't blame him for that. They don't make him a villain. He just decides to stop and leave because humans are
Shitty.
shitty.
Yeah.
I think that's much more elegant to blame him.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
I
perfect.
loved the ending. Like they couldn't have picked a better way to like change that up without pissing off everyone. Well, it pissed off everyone.
Probably hardcore fans of it.
Nerds who like don't really like love shit, but don't actually get any meaning or like
Understand why
deep
you
concept of it,
translate things. There's a difference between the original and the adaptation. There
There's
has
like
to be.
Yeah.
there's like people who like watch South Park for like butts and fart jokes and swear words and stuff like that. And then there's people who actually appreciate South Park for the
witty
writing.
humor in that, and the actual social commentary.
Although it has a good share of just
Yeah,
butt jokes.
but they're also put in a context of I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what
it
I
all
mean?
depends
It's
on how you look at the material, right? And everybody can have their own interpretation.
And I mean, some people might be like, "Well, you're just not getting the Revenant right."
No, fuck off. No, there isn't that much to it. And speaking of movies without substance, Avatar. The long
You
movie
mean
that
Fern Gully, the
Pocahontas Smurfs.
Smurfs.
Like, God, that movie was long. I remember I liked it. I saw it twice in theaters.
I
But
think
for the
I might have
visual
seen twice in theaters too.
compelling,
Yeah.
like it looks gorgeous. I want to rewatch it. I have the DVD of it. I don't own the Blu-ray because man,
For a movie that made that much money, that only the new Star Wars had to be like could beat it. No one remembers it. No one ever brings it up ever again.
it's not a topic of conversation.
It was
But
it
Avatar
was what
2
everybody was talking about at the time, though.
It
I
was
remember
huge.
that.
Avatar 2,
It
man.
definitely had a few good scenes. I liked the action bits. Visually, it was pretty spectacular.
It really helped seeing it in IMAX 3D.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, definitely.
It's kind of like Gravity.
Yeah, I tried watching it at home, and it doesn't have that.
It doesn't
same
have the
feel.
same.
It's
It doesn't
just
have the
Sandra
same
Bullock
gravity.
spinning in space.
Yeah, that's it. But in theaters, you have that like sense, that motion. You feel a little bit, at least, of how shitty that would be. I don't know. There's just so many long movies that could have been edited, just made better.
There's a lot of Scorsese movies that are like that. We recently watched The Aviator, which
Yeah.
had some pretty drawn out scenes.
And that entire Kate Blanchett portion of the movie that got her a fucking Oscar.
For whatever reason.
Uh,
Although we did have that conversation about how actresses, it's hard for them to stand out in movies. They don't often get lead roles, and
But just as an aside to that, I can't believe that Charlize Theron was snubbed from the Oscars
from Mad Max.
for Mad Max because she ruled that movie.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't think that movie should be on Best Picture list per se, but I don't think she should have been snubbed either. She did a great job in it, better than fucking Tom Hardy, who did nothing in that movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like looking around blankly, like I'm saying something that's mind-boggling, but it's entirely true.
Yeah, you agree.
He
Charlize
said
Theron, right?
more
Oh,
lines.
wait, no. Okay, sorry. I keep thinking about, because we're talking about supporting actress, and for some reason in my head I categorize that as like supporting actor too, like Tom Hardy, because he was also in The Revenant. So I thought sorry. I was like,
Oh no, yeah, we were
Yeah,
talking
no,
about him in
no,
The Revenant because he
um,
wasn't nominated for Mad Max.
No.
And he shouldn't have been.
Charlize Theron
Just like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant.
Should not have been.
Tom Hardy should not have been nominated. Tom Hardy probably shouldn't. I'm okay with him not being nominated.
I think the only
Best
reason
Actor.
Leo got nominated this time was because that's just what he does. He gets nominated
Yeah.
for movies and
Just
then
so
doesn't
that
win
they-
them.
Somebody said that he's the Charlie Brown of Oscars, where they just hold that football and he's about to kick it and they
Yoink.
fucking yank it away at the end.
I really hope he doesn't win for this because he's had better movies.
Oh yeah,
That
exactly.
he should have won for.
He's had better roles that he should have won for. I agree that Tom Hardy didn't do much in Mad Max. It was a physical role.
He had less lines than fucking Ryan Gosling in Drive.
But it makes sense in the world because he's gone so long without having to talk to anyone, and you actually do see a little bit of a progression through Mad Max.
Oh yeah,
Because
character progression.
he does
for
end
sure.
up talking a little bit more by the end.
I
I'm
think
not
he- I think he
complaining
did a-
about his role.
Yeah, no, I
No,
think
no,
he did a
no,
really
no.
good job with the role.
I'm
for
just
sure.
saying, like that's why. But again,
The movie was about
Because-
Furiosa,
yeah,
not
exactly.
about Max.
yeah, and that's why George Miller is thinking of maybe doing a Furiosa spinoff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That could be
She's a
cool.
good actress.
Oh, Charlize Theron, like, think of it. It was a physical role, an emotional role, and she, like, yeah, no, she should have been nominated for that for sure.
If only she could learn to run in proper directions from giant spinning
Or-
spacecrafts.
Just like slightly move out of the way, close one eye, step to the side.
Well, okay, Prometheus didn't come out this year, but Ridley Scott's The Martian did.
And that was
Did
cool.
Matt Damon get nominated for Best Actor?
Yeah,
Yes, he
and
did.
the movie got nominated for Best Picture.
Okay.
It's for both, and it should be.
Oh, yeah,
Looking back at some of the
I
pictures from
enjoyed
the
it.
past year, there's
Been some shitty movies that came out this year.
no kidding.
There weren't many standouts. I was
Like, a handful. Like, really good handful, but...
So let's go over the list of Best Picture nominations. We have Bridge of Spies, Mad Max, The Revenant, Spotlight, The Martian, The Big Short, Room, and Brooklyn.
And
So
we haven't seen all of those movies.
I haven't seen most of them.
Room looks fucking depressing. It's about from what I haven't looked too much into it, but it's basically about a girl who gets shoved into a shed for like 12 years and gets like raped.
Oh, that happens.
And then
terrible.
she like gets out. I don't really know.
Sounds like it'd be up for Best Picture.
Yeah. Brooklyn, we haven't seen either.
No,
I know nothing about it.
I
Same here.
heard Spotlight was amazing.
I've heard
We
great
know
things.
about Spotlight. It's just one we haven't seen yet. We have seen Mad Max, The Revenant, The Martian, and
The Big Short.
Shelley and I have seen The Big Short.
Bridge of Spies, I've not seen at all. I don't
But
think you guys have.
We haven't seen it.
It's
Steven
Steven
Spielberg, though, so it's
Spielberg.
good.
I think it'll be worth seeing. But
I've heard good things.
out of that list, I don't know who is the one that deserves to win.
Old Revenant's gonna win because they like sucking that guy's dick.
I
Because
don't think it should
Birdman.
win Best Picture.
I think you're underestimating how good Birdman
But also
was.
the
No, fuck that.
Birdman definitely deserved
That
to win the
director
Oscar.
came out of nowhere and just...
how
Oh my god.
bad.
If that director
movie
comes
was.
out of nowhere and sweeps 2 years worth of
Oh, I'll be
Oscars,
so
Yeah,
mad.
but the Oscars don't
Fuck
like to
that.
do that.
Yeah.
Like, even if you think about it, Meryl Streep has been nominated like 20 times, and she's only won like maybe 6 Oscars.
but I think The Revenant has the most nominations out of any movie this year.
But Birdman came out just last year. It's a little too soon.
I
to
could
just
see
give
them
back
giving
them.
it to The Revenant, though. I could, because it's got a lot of boring shit in it, and nothing happens for a lot of it. They love that.
But it's
For
also
some
pretty.
reason.
It's also pretty brutal, like violence-wise.
Yeah, but for some...
Enough for like old people to not like.
I have to say, I am super duper surprised Mad Max is on this list.
It wouldn't normally be.
Most of the time, they don't give nods to movies like Mad Max.
Yeah.
There's more pretentious movies, like stuff that's come out before, right? What won last year? Birdman. What else was nominated?
Whiplash,
Imitation Game.
Which those two movies are
Theory
fantastic.
of
Things
Everything?
like King's Speech and those kind of Oscar bait aviator movies that were designed to earn Oscars
Yeah.
are usually on there. But something like,
Mad Max. It's good to see it on there.
and
honestly.
The Martian too.
even though Mad Max will not win, it's nice to see.
The Martian, I'm not surprised to see on there as much.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
separates it from.
I would like to see The Martian win Best Picture.
Well,
I would
I don't
love.
think-
for
I don't
it
think
to.
it would.
won't, but I'd like to see it. Out of all of those movies, that I probably enjoyed that the most.
I'm not sure why Big Short is up for so many awards. It was alright.
It made banking semi-interesting, so that's pretty good.
Considering the topic, it was funny. It had some funny parts, had some pretty good acting from some big name actors.
But yeah, there was a much better performance from Michael Scott in this one than in Foxcatcher.
oh, God.
Oh, definitely.
Call me Eagle.
Golden Eagle. Okay, Michael Scott.
When did Michael Scott just become a Bond villain?
Now, one thing I don't understand that kind of pisses me off about this year's Oscar nominations is the 100-year-old man who climbed out a window. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Nominated for makeup? Or
That
whatever?
So Johnny and I first heard about this movie when we went to see Birdman. We saw a trailer for it before Birdman, and we're like, "Oh, that looks marginally funny." Never ended up watching it, but we saw that last year.
And I think it had already been released in other countries by
Oh,
that
yeah.
point.
Many countries. It came out in 2013.
So it already won Oscars last year, I believe, or it was
It
at
was
least
nominated.
and now it's up again.
For an Oscar? What? For visual effects? No, you're doing...
Are they allowed to do that just because it's released in a different area? Maybe.
I don't understand their rules. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a great movie. It's on Netflix. It's
Yeah, I
been
saw
on
it's on
Netflix for
Netflix.
like a year.
Right.
So why is it on the fucking Oscars?
Because somebody from the Oscars was scrolling through Netflix and they're like, "Have you seen that movie? It's fucking
I
great."
think there's
You
only
should put it
2
on."
other movies up for makeup and hairstyling.
But they're... Surely, give it to The Revenant.
I think
For
the
the
Revenant's
scalping.
on there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What other movies? Give it to fucking Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like, they actually had special effects.
I think Star Wars was
Practical
nominated
effects,
for one or
Star Wars
One or
definitely,
two.
yeah, it was on there for some
Soundtrack?
things.
Was it up?
No, it
for
couldn't.
soundtrack?
Probably not for
It wouldn't have been
soundtrack, no.
soundtrack because it wasn't done by John Williams.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think so. I don't think episode 7 was. I think it was
John
something
Williams
else.
was back, I think.
I would double check that if I were you. 'Cause I
I
remember people bitching about it because none of the songs were nearly as interesting as
To the internet. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I never really base what the Oscar nominations are on how I'm going to feel about a movie, but
It was?
Yep.
It was John Williams?
He did the score for Star Wars 7.
Episode 7?
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, was it so...
Because I remember watching interviews back when like that hype train was coming, and people were like,
Did he
"Oh,
do it, or
John
was he
Williams."
credited for having a part in it?
No, he actually
100% did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
And
it
people were
doesn't sound
bitching.
good.
People were bitching about that soundtrack not sounding the same because it's not the original fucking
It's not the
soundtrack.
same
Okay,
movie.
but it
If you include something new, and like people were saying that about Battlefield as well, like how some of the soundtrack on that game didn't feel Star Warsy, and I'm just like, go fuck
Battlefront?
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say
Like
Battlefield?
Battlefield?
Yeah.
Battlefield
Every
has a
fucking
soundtrack?
time. Every fucking time.
The
People were
problem
bitching
I had
about that?
with that score wasn't that... it did have some of the old moments, and they played like the romance theme with Han and Leia. There was nothing epic like Duel of the Fates or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just felt to me a little bland, except for the occasional callback to
And the mandatory,
dun,
Text crawl.
dun. Yeah.
Were you the one who was telling me that Steven Spielberg had asked him to do Schindler's List? Oh, yeah, so Steven Spielberg, when he was filming Schindler's List, went to John Williams and was like, you should do the score for me. And then John Williams watched the movie and then like was so moved by it, he took a walk and then he called Steven Spielberg again and was like, you deserve somebody better.
Ooh.
And Steven Spielberg said, yeah, but they're all dead.
Ouch. Nice. That's great,
Ooh.
though.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Because that movie's great.
So we've looked at the Oscar nominations. What do you guys think that your favorite movies were from the past year?
Don't lie. Just say it. You know what it is.
Not necessarily favorites, some of your favorites. If you can't
Well,
just pick one.
you
I'll
can
just
pick-
get
you
it.
can
I'll
absolutely
just
pick
get
one.
it out of the way. Mad Max
And
for sure.
How many times did you see it in theaters?
I saw it 4 times.
If that's any
4
indication.
times.
Yeah, so...
And how many times have you seen it since you got it on disc?
Twice. So
Probably the movie you've seen the most that was released in the past year.
yeah. I've seen the Lego Movie a lot.
I haven't seen it since theaters.
And neither have I.
Is that up
Really-
for best animation?
No, it's not.
No, and people were super pissed off about that.
Did
That's
that come
pretty-
out?
So you
this
know what?
year? I
You know
thought it
what
was
Lego
last
did?
year.
They made their own Oscars.
Oh, of course they
in
did.
Legos.
It was early in the year, but it was in 2015.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
No,
No,
it's
it was
2014.
2014.
The very
Yeah.
end of
Oh,
2014.
it was definitely
2014.
2014.
It felt...
It
Yeah,
was
it
in
older.
the summer of 2014.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know what I'm thinking.
What the fuck are you thinking?
But
You've lost your mind, son.
I personally, The Martian for me, I think, particularly out of those Oscar list, was my favorite movie. It was interesting. I just want to point out that as far as filmmaking goes, America has spent billions and billions and billions of dollars trying to get Matt Damon home in the last few years in movie making. We have Saving Private Ryan, we have Interstellar, we have The Martian.
he's never getting home.
That's all we do is spend money getting this asshole home. It's ridiculous.
Somebody fucking lock his doors.
Yeah, just stop taking Matt Damon, okay?
Good thing he's a good actor along the way. But a couple of my favorites, Ex Machina, I think was really good.
Yeah,
That was good.
that would definitely be on my favorites list. If I had like a top 3, it'd be Mad Max, Ex Machina, and oh boy, Avengers.
Really? I think Ant-Man was better than
Avengers was awful.
Awful, I think, is a little...
I saw it a second time and was just like, oh, this is awful.
I thought Ant-Man was really good though.
Yeah, Ant-Man was great. Spectre was a disappointment,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
what were your guys' biggest disappointments then of the year? Ones you were psyched about early in the year,
Hateful
but
Eight.
ended up being
I would say
disappointing?
Hateful Eight was a massive disappointment for me.
I found it disappointing, but not massive.
I kind of had a feeling that Revenant was going to be pretentious bullshit.
Because of who directed it.
Yeah.
Jurassic World was pretty much what I expected.
But worse for me. That disappointed me. I didn't like it.
I knew exactly what I was getting into it because I had waited at least like a week and like had seen reviews and kind of like got my head in the right space to just go see it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't really have the nostalgia for Jurassic Park. Didn't really watch them much growing up. But I thought Jurassic World was alright.
Granted, I had just seen The Lost World like,
so shitty.
for like the second time like a week before that too.
So you had really shit movies.
Yeah, so exactly. You know what we should do now? Just watch super shitty movies
before we go see
movies.
All right, well, let's do the Tarantino marathon then.
That was what kind of disappointed me for some movies because I had higher expectations for Spectre as well as Black Mass was another one that I thought would be better.
Black Mass was about what I expected. It was a good movie I never want to see ever again.
It Follows came out this year, I think.
Yeah.
I liked it. Stanford Prison Experiment. You guys haven't seen it.
No.
I know all about it.
Yeah, you know
Obviously,
all about
psychology.
it. It's literally just what happens, but it's really well acted.
Is it a documentary or is
No,
it?
it's a
full
movie.
on acted. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And it's got a ridiculous cast of young up and coming actors from like Disney and like a whole bunch of stuff.
I'd like to see it.
It's actually really good.
I know the concept behind it is really interesting to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like The Martian. I like The Martian a lot. Ridley Scott does space movies like no one.
Except for Prometheus.
It looked good.
It looked good.
Yeah.
It was a pretty movie. And it was deeply flawed by, I think, the script. And I don't remember who wrote the script, but whoever did.
Okay, so
sucked
they
fucks.
they had an original script for it, and then the studio looked through it, and then had somebody come in and rewrite all of the bullshit.
It was
scenes.
supposed to take place on
the
alien
Oh god,
moon, right?
I can't remember the name. Of
It's
that.
some random distribution of letters and numbers.
A41 or
whatever
something like
bullshit.
that. Yeah.
And that's where it was supposed to take place, because that's why you see the dead engineer sitting there looking just like
the dead engineer in
Yeah.
Prometheus.
I'd like to point out that I just saw Alien for the first time in the past week, and I can see some of the parallels made to Prometheus,
Yeah.
but I need to rewatch Prometheus.
you don't
And
need to.
Prometheus,
save
like
yourself.
the whole concept is really cool, but then they do the like B movie or like the like crappy movie horror tropes of like
Poor decision making.
poor decision making.
When
It's literally like you have all of these massively smart characters who like,
geologists, doctors, and
but they can't
engineers
find
end up
their
being
way
so
out of the
stupid.
fucking. They get lost even though they have a map.
They have sex
they,
with
like-
Idris Elba.
They pet a fucking penis snake.
The guy whose job it was to map out the entire structure, which he did, got lost. His one job.
And took his mask off and petted a penis snake. You don't pet a penis
Oh,
snake.
but it was so
Stupid.
cute.
That whole yeah.
and not being able to
the
get out of the way of
David-
the circle.
The David the David part too was really cool. Like there were like
Oh, Dave.
Prometheus is a good movie with a bunch of shit in it.
True facts.
Yeah, I
It
think
sounds
so.
like a Tarantino movie.
Michael
A bunch of
Fassbender.
shit.
Michael
Did you just
Fassbender
say
was my
that
favorite
Quentin
part.
Tarantino movies are good though.
With a lot of shit in it.
Not all of them. Some of them are just pure shit.
Jackie
Brown. Jackie Brown.
Terrible.
Kill Bill 2. Oh god.
There was Death Proof had that like sexy bar scene,
No,
and then
that
and
wasn't
then,
my favorite part.
And then and
Obviously, everyone's favorite part is the last 15 minutes of the movie.
yeah, that
Yeah.
last 15 minutes are great. The car crash at the start of the movie was good.
Tarantino's foot fetish.
Yeah.
So Johnny just watched The Babadook recently, so that's more interesting than
Yeah.
fucking Tarantino.
That unfortunately that came out in 2014.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure, right?
probably do an episode of what movies Johnny just watched.
Yeah, we
I've
could
seen
do
a lot
that.
in this past week.
Well, we can do a short little preview then. Johnny, what have you seen recently?
Well, I
That was
watched
good.
Alien, which
And what'd you
I thought
think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah?
And Babadook, which is one of the best horror movies I think I've ever seen.
I think we can all agree.
I cannot have
That's
enough
great.
praise for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a guy who can't stay awake through any movie, and he stayed awake through it.
I've been doing good
he
recently.
stayed awake through Alien too.
And The Revenant.
Come on,
Some
I've been doing
fucking
good
how.
recently.
Well, we were thinking of watching The Thing this week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'd do The Thing. It's a good movie.
I, of course, watched The Big Short and The Revenant, which were movies.
What did you guys think of The Big Short? Seeing as I didn't see it. I know you talked about it a little bit, but
like I
because
said,
it got
Steve
nominated for Oscars.
Steve Carell did a good job. Christian Bale did a good job. The movie was pointless. It was
The
unnecessary.
filming style was definitely weird. It did the weird Office thing where the camera was handheld most of the
Adam
time
McKay, yeah.
and zoomed in a lot. Had these weird zooms.
I
To
hear they
make
had
it
like a
feel
whole
natural,
bunch
I
of
think.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because there was like a breaking the fourth wall.
It
all
started to
the
break
time.
into documentary territory, it felt like.
But then they
It
would,
was super informative.
as soon as they broke into documentary, they would break out with fourth wall narration, or they would like have random cameos from celebrities explain a certain thing that they felt was too difficult.
The metaphors felt kind of forced. The Jenga metaphor. They were trying to simplify the concepts, right?
for everyone,
And
yeah.
make them funny or appealing.
There were definitely some laughs in the movie. Do I think it's worthy of an Oscar? No, and I think that demonstrates just how shit this year was for good movies. That is up for a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
That should have just gone by completely unnoticed. Like, it should have just been a movie you saw. Great. It had Margot Robbie in a bathtub with bubbles. Okay, great.
Problem? Bubbles.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's why it should totally get kicked out of Oscars. Bubbles.
Turbo Kid was good. That also
Define
came out
good.
this year.
I watched that one scene. Was there anything else good in the movie?
Oh yeah, there's more scenes.
Oh, come on. You could say that about any
movie.
You know, well, no.
There were more scenes.
There are more scenes in The Revenant than there should have been. Like,
But
2 hours and 52 minutes of it?
That one scene was good. And there were more scenes. Like,
Yes,
that
there were
logic
more
doesn't
scenes.
follow. The bear scene was good.
Whatever.
There were more. Many, many more.
Yeah, I'm disappointed by The Revenant. I don't know why. It's pretty much, like, I don't know how I could have expected more.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's a gorgeous film.
Gorgeous.
The cinematography, if anything, it should have won an award for. Probably the cinematography.
I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I didn't get like a sudden wave of being super fucking tired and bored during it. If I could have just sat back and if I was like had an energy drink or something, or if I maybe did like 80 grams of shrooms.
There was a point where I literally looked around the theater to see.
Yeah, you were
anyone
looking-
I was
Bored.
bored.
Were you looking at the stars on the sides of the walls,
Yeah.
like me?
I was
It's like, what's going on over here?
pretty distracted by the floor lights. The blue floor lights felt a lot brighter to me
Yeah.
at this time. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
actually, at one point I was like,
It's really bright.
were they supposed to keep these on? I guess, and then in my head
People
I was
leaving.
like, did they like scientifically test out lights to see if blues, like what color blue
Less
is like,
obnoxious?
less obnoxious for?
It was pretty obnoxious for the beginning of the movie, and then
Like,
eventually they got
these are
in.
thoughts that I thought of.
Still
in The
not
Revenant.
as distracting as when we saw The Big Short,
Oh,
and there were
God.
like 3 splotches on the screen.
Super
Smears?
bad.
I don't know what they were, but it was really bad. Anytime there was white on the screen,
Slightly off
they
left
just
center.
stood out, like near the center, where my eyes just couldn't help but be drawn to.
Not even white, but like any color but brown and black. It was
You could
just,
see them, and you're just like, why?
Oh.
Clean your fucking screens. Or whatever that is.
I don't know if that was the projector or if it was the screen that was.
Something on the lens. Who knows?
Either way, not cool.
Oh, no. Super, super annoying.
I'm surprised Alvin and the Chipmunks didn't get Oscar nominated.
Well, okay. That
It'll
is
be in the Razzies.
Why did
Sure,
it come
okay.
out like at the same time as Star Wars?
because that way when you couldn't get into Star Wars, you go to see that.
Because you got blind your
balls.
kids.
Your kids are like, oh, wow, we need to see a movie. Wow, oh fuck, what are we taking to? Well, we can't go see fucking The Big Short. We can't go see
Star Wars
Revenant.
is sold out.
So let's go see this shithole. And then you do. I am actually a little frustrated with the Oscars not accepting good movies because they're animated or
Yeah,
like
Inside Out wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
No,
right?
it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
It is nominated for Best Animated.
Best-
It'll probably win.
it shouldn't. I don't think it should have to be its own separate, distinct category.
No.
I
I
think
mean, it's
if
a movie.
It's a
It should
movie
be treated the same way.
as a movie, right? If it's good enough to stand on its own, maybe Best Kids Movie, fucking whatever.
Yeah, there are plenty of
Well,
other categories that animated
it should
movies
be-
don't apply for, like Best Actor and Actress,
It
right?
should be, yeah, it should be like Best Animated Movie should be a category, but it should also bleed into
Yeah.
Best Picture.
If it was just as good as some of the other movies of the year.
That's why Lego should have beaten fucking Birdman.
What else was good for
Well, I'll give you
animated
that.
movies
Lego
last
should
year,
have
though?
Lego should have beaten Birdman.
Other than Inside Out, what
was
was
there a
good for
Pixar?
animated
How many
last year?
Pixar's out last year? Was Brave last year?
No.
Brave
that
was
was like
2
3
ago,
years
2 or
ago.
3 years ago now.
Oh, what was last year?
They came out with
Didn't they have a sequel?
Monsters something.
Monsters University was 2
no
years
Monsters
ago.
University was about. Oh God.
See, I don't think there was much good for animated last year.
Dragon Ball Z,
When was-
Battle of Gods.
You mean Resurrection F?
That was this-
Lego movie.
That was last year.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about 2014.
Oh no, just last year. Yeah, there wasn't much for animated.
There was the one that you've seen from the Eternal.
Yeah, no,
Sunshine
I've only
Spotless
seen the trailer for it.
Oh, I thought you've seen it. Okay.
No, Anomalia or
Anomalisa or something.
yeah. I really like the director. I mean, he did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Great
He did,
Adaptation.
Great movie.
Synecdoche, New York.
We watched the trailer just before we started this cast, but why is it animated?
And that's the thing. That's exactly my response to the trailer when I had seen it I think I saw it. Anyway, when I saw the trailer, I was like, why? Why is this animated?
It had people.
But
it looks like so much more work.
Knowing that it's the guy who did like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, he sometimes thinks outside of the box, so they might have not shown
What? Anything?
Yeah.
Maybe.
to create the wonder of like I don't know.
And there's the other movie that was up for best. So it was Inside Out, Anomalisa, another movie that I don't know, and then there was a Studio Ghibli movie that was.
Oh God, I can't remember.
I think I've heard.
It
I'm
may-
probably wrong that it's going to be the send off for Studio Ghibli, and that's sad.
Yeah.
Because,
They're
Because it's
awesome.
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And they make amazing movies.
The Good Dinosaur was the other Pixar movie
That came
from
out
last year.
That was this year.
Yeah, that was
Like this past
Oh,
year.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just said last year because we're in 2016.
I know. I just because we're talking about this year's movies.
Yeah, I know.
It's confuzzling, I guess.
What's coming out in 2016?
Finding Dory, as far as Pixar.
Pixar?
What the heck is Sanjay's Super Team? 2015.
I don't.
I don't know.
Is
I don't
it
wanna know.
Pixar?
It's probably
Short or something?
a short
Yeah.
if you're looking at Google. Anyway, yeah, The Revenant made me sleepy.
Very, very sleepy. So
I think I'll go to bed now.
throw on the Revenant so I can actually go to sleep.
You know, maybe I'll use that. When it comes out on disc, I'll just...
Mute it.
Having trouble sleeping.
Look at the pretty pictures.
No, I'll have it played because nothing fucking happens,
Alright.
and then I'll have like a 25-hour alarm clock when the fight at the end happens.
How many cuts do you need where Leonardo is breathing? All right.
I think even at the very end, when they
Yeah.
showed the credits, he was still
How many
breathing.
fucking times? We get it. He's in pain.
Well, I think it was to show the resiliency of Leonardo DiCaprio and pretentious,
Oh,
blah,
right.
blah,
No,
blah.
right. Because at one point they're saying if you're still breathing,
Yeah, that was the idea.
then you're
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
I get it.
But it's
Oh,
so
no.
clever.
it's not clever. No, it's just stupid and pretentious.
Well, let's end it with
Just
him
like
breathing.
Birdman.
That. While we're talking about Birdman, since you brought it up, the bullshit that Birdman won last year is just
They won like 6 Oscars.
pisses me the fuck off.
For no good reason.
Whiplash should have won.
Whiplash should have won. It's a much better
Imitation Game could have won something
Could've won,
else.
and-
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne deserved that fucking Oscar for Theory of Everything.
I haven't seen it.
film. I haven't
so-
seen it,
Sure.
but yeah, as long as it isn't Birdman, because Birdman doesn't fucking deserve. It deserves
Maybe could have gotten
these-
cinematography. Okay.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean that said, filming movies as one shot isn't new. This is not new.
Didn't Michael Keaton win Best Actor?
Again, like I said, it's just
because of what it
it's,
is.
yeah.
It's being
it's
about
that,
theater and
it's that high art. Oh, you just don't get it.
no, I get it. It's not good.
No, we.
I don't care how deep a meaning or any of that shit is.
I
If you don't find it entertaining, what
yeah,
good is it?
I don't
That's the whole
care
point
how
of a movie.
classic or classy and like quirky you think you are.
I think
It's not
I think
fucking-
the first thing I said after we watched Birdman was, is it possible to appreciate a movie without enjoying it?
Yeah, that's
And yes, that about sums it up.
it doesn't win you an Oscar, but it's not based on your enjoyment of a movie, right?
Mhm.
Because if it was enjoyment, I'm pretty sure Star Wars would win fucking everything because people paid money to see it 100,000
Yeah,
times.
I probably had the most fun at the theaters watching Star Wars, The Martian,
I'm gonna have to see Star Wars
and Mad Max.
theaters again.
Mad Max was fun to see.
Those were good, enjoyable movies. It doesn't come down to if they're good or enjoyable. It comes down to who can suck the Oscar old people's cocks better.
Now everyone form a line.
Oh man, this new guy, holy fuck, he knows how to use his mouth.
Let's give him all the Oscars.
Alejandro, take them all. But Leo needs to learn how to suck a dick, let me tell you.
Also, speaking of awards, Lady Gaga won Best supporting actress at the
Emmy or
Golden
Golden
Globes.
Globes.
Golden Globes.
Emmys, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
And
It's not like I saw that movie.
Kirsten
but
Dunst should have won for Fargo.
I heard that was really good.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
Lady Gaga plays weird, like for American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
I hate American Horror Story. It's the worst fucking TV show on TV.
I've heard a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
hate
so
about it.
God awful.
okay, I haven't watched
for
it
season
since
one.
the first season.
I watched just the first episode.
The first season I really, really liked until the last 15 minutes of that season, and I fucking hated it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, and I think what happened is that we binge watched it too much.
I know it was that first season was good, and then the last 15 minutes completely changed everything, and it turned into Beetlejuice, the TV show.
Yeah,
It was shitty.
Yeah, and I think every season of that now is just like, oh, how to be a little bit more offensive sexually, and how to like make the Tumblr crowd clean their fucking
I
pants.
think it's trying to compete with like actual interesting things. Like I was gonna say Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, but that'd be a lie.
Oh, come on.
They're okay.
Well, let's talk about those in another
Oh yeah, for sure.
podcast.
Always.
And let's hope 2016 has
Good
a
movies.
better year of movies. Overall, kind of disappointing,
Yeah.
despite all the
I
blockbusters.
love Mad Max. That was Mark. That was Mark.
I was about to say, hey, what about Mad Max?
Mad Max was good. I
What
won't refute
What
that.
about Seven Samurai? Mark, that was 1954, bud. Holy shit.
You're gonna
calm
fucking
down.
bring that up.
Oh, God.
All right, before I go on this rant, that's all we have for today, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Check us out on Facebook, our website, like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our newly uploaded iTunes episodes.
Oh fuck yeah! And we are uploading every Monday on YouTube.
Everywhere, in fact. Join us next week for another podcast.
And until next time,
We're going nowhere.
Pew 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 pew.
you just do that one once? Wow, that was weak. We can edit this recording to make it sound like, yes, guys.
Please drag me around in the dirt.